As Tommy sat back and relaxed, he couldn't help but think back to the fight with his wife that started this whole mess. As he got home, he saw Timmy in tears. What had that right angle, triangle loving shape done now? These fights were pretty regular. Tommy would ask, "Why did you marry me when you knew I was a triangle?" But she always blamed it on Tommy. "You got me drunk. So drunk I was seeing double and thought you were a square." They both were unhappy. Tommy thought it over, and the only place he was happy, the corner bar. "Another one," belched Tommy. "You've had enough," yelled the bartender. As Tommy paid his tab, he left a 2% tip. Stereotypically speaking, that was a lot to the standard point head, if you know what I mean. Once in the alley, he heard a mess of footsteps scurrying away. When Tommy stumbled forward, not to his surprise, he found another victim of shape crime. It had to be the alcohol talking, because even for a triangle, this was a little much. Or is it just so crazy it might work? The song "It's Hip to Be Square" kept running through his mind. He couldn't get it out of it. He could barely contain himself. Obviously, this was fate. At that moment, he knew exactly what to do. To some, it may seem extreme, but to Tommy, having shape change surgery was something he had to do. Luckily, the smell on Tommy's breath didn't deter the surgeon. "This idea may just put me in the books," the surgeon thought. Tommy came home raring to go. But the sudden halt, look on wife's face, and cue the subtle change in testicles. She was just so surprised with his new look. She screamed, "You look like a retarded trapezoid or a rhombus or something." Tommy was so let down. What Rosie didn't know was he spent their last bit of money getting this done. He was sure she would love it. And that look, it wasn't that bad. He did look more square. Oh well. Now to figure out how to get this thing off of me. First, Tommy went to the butcher's shop. Something about the look in the butcher's eye made Tommy think he'd better look for alternative ways of dead guying, I guess. He had another idea. Yeah, plane ticket to the Amazon may be a bit pricey, but man, that would be so cool. Now that he had thought it over for a few minutes, he realized what he had to do. Not only would this idea feed the homeless, but it would get this guy off of them, and for cheap. Perfect. Thank you. Shortly after, Tommy had to go to the psychiatrist. So, after 45 minutes of listening to Tommy's bitching, the best advice that overpriced flathead could give him was to try to be himself? How absurd. Well, Tommy still needed some closure, so he went back to the grave. And as he was standing there just staring, He realized this guy's death wasn't in vain. No, not at all. In fact, Tommy learned a very valuable lesson. Psychiatrists are assholes.